Good evening and welcome to Arpeggio, the BBC's flagship arts programme. I have with me tonight one of America's most innovative theatre directors, Miles Tennant. Miles, welcome to London.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Now, later we're going to discuss your highly original, indeed controversial production of Thornton Wilder's Our Town. But I'd like to run back over some of the highlights of your career, because you have indeed run the gamut, so to speak, of the world of theatre, starting with the Greek classics.
Yes. We all know Oedipus Rex, but a lot of people come away, I think, a little empty because the sequence is described with the son and the mother rather than shown. So I felt we had to show that sequence. And because I believe that really good theater, you don't say it, you show it.
And the Greek dramatists hadn't got onto that concept.
No, it was a long time ago. And I think it's a growing and learning process.
Now, when you rethought Greek drama, you went on to the next major stage in the history of the theatre, the medieval miracle plays. And am I right to understand that you actually performed some of these with real miracles?
I think you have to take this in historical context. To a medieval person, an ace bandage is a miracle. How dost thou make the materials snap back like that, you know?
And you wanted to produce that sense of wonder in the audience.
Yes.
By that method.
Yes, I think it starts with the cast, and eventually everybody, oh.
But what about Car-park Shakespeare? Because that was a much grittier approach to drama.
Shakespeare in the Car-park, yes. I think you can make your audience watch. I've been there, done that. But if you can make someone stop a car, shut the engine off, and get out and watch, then you have done your job.
You mean you actually went up to people in a car park and just began performing
Well, we
Shakespeare?
just sort of put it on in the middle of it, where they should be parking the cars. And so they formed a sort of a circle in the square, if you will.
How did it work? Did people actually stay and watch?
Yes, until the police came, it was actually quite successful.
I gather that you actually did something rather original with Shakespeare's history plays as well. You combined not just the most well-known Richard III, but other Richards which aren't recognised in the Shakespeare canon.
Yes, the lesser-known Richards. Who wants to see the limp and the hump? You know, the skin condition, the one who has no volume control. He has damage in one ear. I don't know what I'm shouting.
Richard the First, Richard the Second.
Richard the Second.
They were all in it.
Richard the Fourth. Yes, they were. Well, elements of them were in it. One of them was fearful of children.
Then there was what you did with the Jacobean drama, because
yes,
Jacobean drama is fairly strong stuff, but you made it even stronger.
Yes, Jacobean theater for children, where there were some complaints from the parents. They said, "This is so grim. It's so gruesome. There's so much blood." And I said, "This is nothing they can't just watch on Saturday morning on cartoons, you know, or cable at night when you're not home, or on the internet, you know, if you didn't put a little block chip in your computer."
There's one title here that fascinates me. Your version of the works of Richard Sheridan, and it's a title where you created a composite drama called Milady's Getting Uppity.
Yes.
Restoration comedy?
Yes, this is Milady's Getting Uppity, and I love restoration comedy. And a lot of people know Bob Vila, the television star. A lot of people don't know Bob Vila, the actor. And we loved his work on that, and I'm so sorry no one came to see it.
You said it was a combination of restoration comedy and the comedy of manners.
Yes, comedy of manners from that era, in ye days of old. I thought that was the last really good period of time for the way people treated each other, because I think comedies have subsequently become very rude.
Let's look at what you're doing in London now. Thornton Wilder's Our Town, an old warhorse of a play, done in a way which has startled some audiences.
Yes, we put the Tennant twist on it, if you will.
Yes.
And It's done completely in the dark.
In the dark.
Absolutely in the dark. Completely dark. No exit signs, no lights on stage. And I think actors have come to rely on their sight too much, and they've forgotten how to feel their way through a play. To touch, to smell, and I would have each actor eat something different. And they would eat the same thing every night, so you had to find the one with the onion or the one with the corned beef.
How did this work for audiences, though? Because if audiences, quite a lot of our town is actually mime. How does mime work in the dark?
Well, it makes the audience work a little harder, doesn't it? You see, it's not just the actors working harder, but I think the audience has become complacent too. What's the big film? The Sixth Sense. You know, I see dead people. Well, we're going back to an earlier, simpler time. The third sense. I smell dead people.
And what sort of response have you been getting when audiences have not been able to see what's happening on the stage, and indeed actors have not been able to see their audiences?
Well, I think it brings them together, because we lose the boundary of where the edge of the stage is, and the actors will just tumble off into the audience.
Literally?
Oh yes. It wouldn't be theater if it was figuratively.
It sounds almost as though you're bringing the experience of radio into the theatre.
Oh yeah. Oh. Oh.
Mr.
Oh yes.
Tennant, thank you very much
Oh,
indeed.
thank you. Radio. Silly goose. Huh. Yeah.